Everybody, welcome back to the Hearth of Coal. This is Anna. Thanks for joining me. If you watched my previous video, it was about how to make fire cider. Well, I know I just released it yesterday, but that video was made on March 6th, and today is, it was made on March 7th. Today is April 6th. I felt like it was a good day to get everything going. We've got good light today. The kids are all outside playing, so it's nice and quiet. For now. They may interrupt. If they do, that's life. What I'm going to do for now to start off is anytime we work with food, we wash our hands. So that's what I'm going to do. Be right back. Alright, now that we're back from washing our hands, everything's nice and clean. Jewelry, for this step, we're going to want to remove and set that in a safe location, which in this case is my pocket. Watches. The reason that I do that is because whenever I'm squeezing all the stuff that's in here that we don't want in the product, it can get stuck in little pieces of the jewelry, and it just makes it a booger to clean. Also, the vinegar can react with some metals and make it to where the product or the jewelry that you were wearing might not be so pretty after you're done. So, what we need to do today, after our month has gone by, we'll just take a quick look, try not to get the glare, at our product. Everything is not as colorful anymore. It's all kind of just orange. That's normal. That's what it's supposed to do, so it is definitely ready to uncork. One of the things that I like to do is just get my stuff in order first. That was one of the things that I didn't do in the previous video, mostly because I wanted to show you the process. What I'm going to do now is separate everything out so you see what I've got. I've got a large bowl. This should hold all the liquid. If it doesn't, we'll just have to get another bowl. I have a basic colander. You can get them anywhere, any of your stores. The thrift store is an awesome place to pick up used cookware. It's cheaper. I've got a mesh bag. I use this for a lot of different things. I recently used it for making chicken stock, bone broth. It's just a handy mesh bag. In fact, originally, I think it may have been some sort of laundry bag. So I'll just show you. It's got a very fine weave, but it's almost a mesh. It's not super fine, not like cheesecloth. But pretty close. That's about all we're going to need to strain the solids out of this liquid. So I'm just going to stretch it so it goes right over my colander, and that'll just make it easy to pick everything up out of here. Get all the little rosemary pieces and any of the shredded vegetation that's in there. Set that right over my bowl. And this is a really easy, inexpensive, and accessible strainer. Of course, whatever you have also works. I lay down a towel because I'm messy. I know this about myself. Anybody who knows me also knows this about me. First thing, we're going to uncork it. It should not fizz. If it fizzes, there is something going on in here that you do not want to go. That can be a sign that it's contaminated. Maybe there was soil on something that wasn't cleaned off very well. There should be no foam on top of this. I'll get my other camera so that you can see what I'm talking about. So there should be no foam. We don't see any foam. There should be no fizzing. Don't hear any fizzing. Don't see any fizzing either. And all the way through, you should have a pretty uniform distribution of vegetation. It will be a little bit cloudy. That's okay, but we don't want any foam, fuzz, mold, or stringy, anything that looks really stringy or gooey. We don't want any of that. That means that something went wrong with this batch. Throw the whole thing away and start over. It is better safe than sorry. Botulism will kill you. It's no joke. So cleanliness, when it comes to preparing things like this, it's vital. You cannot skip the washing step. But as long as you have none of the above mentioned items, fuzz, slime, mold, or fizz, you should be good to go. Smells like spicy vinegar. So we're just gonna pour it in. And that part I don't think anybody really needs a tutorial on how to do. Just watch the size of your bowl because it can creep up there without you really even realizing it got that high. I want to get all the vegetation out of the jar and into the strainer so that we can squeeze out all that little goodness. If you used a food processor to chop up your ingredients, then I would definitely suggest you use cheesecloth, maybe even 2 layers of it, just so that you can strain out all those really fine particulates. And that's going to get set aside to wash. Hopefully this doesn't make you have to go to the bathroom. I mean, it kind of made me think about using the bathroom. What I like to do is I'll take a wooden spoon or another instrument and press down, just try to get all that out of there. For the initial squeeze, alright, for this part, all I'm doing is gathering the drawstring of my bag. If you use cheesecloth, just gather the corners, and it will continue to drip. Get as much of it out of the colander as you can get, kind of in the transition to just holding the bag over the bowl. I keep covering up my face, but y'all know who I am, so it's really not that big of a deal. And then just squeeze it. Remember how the grating was a good upper body workout? This is a good chest workout. And upper arms. And you just want to squeeze it, that way you get all of that vinegar out of the vegetation, out of that, out of the solids, and into your final product. How much should I squeeze it? Should it be completely dry when I'm done? All of those questions. No. Squeeze it until you're tired of squeezing it. There's always going to be at least a little bit of moisture left over in the vegetation. That's just what happens. I keep saying vegetation. I hope you understand that I mean the solids that are in here. Technically it's not vegetation, but I hope you understand. I feel like I'm milking a cow. Be a weird cow if it smelled like vinegar. Alright, I think that's good for our purposes. Now I'm going to move this off my towel so I use away my hands. And then I'll show you what that looks like. Alright, so, that's what it looks like when it's in the bowl. I'll show you from another angle. Well, okay, we got close-ups of my face, but that's not what I wanted to give you. I wanted to show you this, but I still can't figure out for the life of me how to turn the camera around while I'm making a video. If you know how, help. I could use it. But this is the finished product. You'll see in the very top there are like little bubbles. That's just from squeezing, and it looks really cloudy, right? Like I said in the beginning, it will look cloudy because of all the little fine particles that are in there. It's normal. This is a good batch. It looks good. And again, if you notice any strange clumps of slimy material, mold, fuzz, or excessive fizz, then it's no good. Throw it away. This batch is good, so I'm happy with that. The only other thing that I add to it is at the end of the process I add honey, because it does make it a bit more palatable. I've got about, what, maybe a half a cup there of honey. Might even be closer to 3/4 of a cup. So we're going to wait for the honey to come out of the jar, because that's the nature of honey. We just add it to taste. Some people, you don't even need to add it. If you like how it tastes just as it is, just do that. I like mine with a little bit of sweet. Plus honey, raw honey, is, which I don't believe this is what that is. It's what I could get, okay? Don't judge me. Raw honey adds in the additional protection of helping with allergies, in that it gives you microdoses of whatever allergens are in your immediate vicinity. It's soothing. It helps to coat the throat, so if you're dealing with a sore throat, it helps to coat that. And it also is just freaking delicious. I didn't become a beekeeper because honey doesn't taste good, okay? I'm just going to say that. And then we'll take and we'll bottle this in probably 2-quart jars. We might even just use 1. We'll see what happens. The vinegar kind of breaks up the honey too and spreads it out. Now you can heat this concoction if it makes it easier for you to get the honey thin and evenly distributed. I haven't found it to be necessary. Usually just a little bit of stirring will do the trick. Alright, so remember what I said about wide mouth jars. I love them. They're some of my favorite creations. I'm glad they made them wide. This jar won't do. This jar will do nicely. So, quart jar, he's a wide mouth jar. I use and I recommend using plastic lids for anything that is vinegar based. That includes your pickles, that includes fire cider, that includes any other tonic that's vinegar based or liquid that's vinegar based that you're going to store for a while. The reason for that is vinegar will corrode metal. So if it comes in contact with metal, it will corrode it. Remember the jewelry thing? Yeah. The ball makes leak proof, and I send my husband to work with chicken soup in these jars, and it is leak proof. These ones, the gray ones, are. These ones, the white ones, are not, but they are good for storage. So these I use, stick it in the fridge, call it good. Alright, jar, funnel. I think we can figure the rest of this part out, guys. Now watch as Hannah makes a complete mess. Maybe? No, not too bad. I spoke too soon. Yep. That happened. That's okay. So there's that. 1 jar. Sorry, this little kid keeps riding by my window, so he kind of distracts me. So we're going to clean that up before it stains the table. And get another jar.
Ow.
Are you okay?
Yes.
What happened?
I was walking down the stairs.
Were you walking though?
Yes.
Okay. Sure you're okay?
Yes.
Alright, that's on video.
Okay.
Alright, round 2. You know what would be cool is if the bowls had like a little lip on them. I think I have like a pancake batter bowl that I might be able to use next time. Anyway. Oh. We got more than 2 quarts, guys. That's exciting. we're just going to take this 1 and 2, throw the rest in a glass. Seriously. Seriously. So it's what, 2.5 quarts plus a taster. 2 ounces. That's what I use as a dose, if I had to call it a dose. It would be really hard to overdose on this particular thing, so to speak, to make yourself sick, just because the vinegar would make your stomach upset, and then on top of it, the garlic, onions, jalapenos, it would take a lot to make you feel nauseous. You would stop well before you got yourself in trouble, I would hope. But this shot glass is what I use whenever I dole it out. The kids always think it's great because they feel like, you know, they're doing something bad. Right here, let's see if we can get it to fit. So a little more than 2 ounces. I'll toss the rest in there. A little bit of the honey didn't make it. Most of it did. And that's a typical dose of my fire cider. I'm kind of excited. Yep, that tastes good. Anyway, it's an acquired taste, I will warn you up front. Mostly because, one, the vinegar is very potent, and all the things that you put into it, they're going to make you salivate a lot, but you can feel the warmth after that. It kind of moves down your throat, you feel it warming in your chest like whenever you drink something hot. If you experience nausea or an allergic reaction to any of the ingredients, again, like I said in the last one, just don't make it. Test little bits. So the first time you try it, maybe you do 1 ounce or a ½ ounce, just to see how your body reacts. Anyway, hopefully that was easy enough to follow. I'm gonna make an earthquake, because I hit the table. Hopefully it was easy enough to follow along with, and thanks for tuning in. I really do appreciate you guys. This is a great thing that I find helps with my family, keeping our immune systems up in the springtime crud, and hopefully you find it useful. Thanks for joining me at the Hearth, and we'll see you next time.